Good morning. We're in Bellingham, Washington, and we're going to build a pitless here in the backyard. We're going to start the waterfall starter at the top. We're going to do a series of cascades down to where the pitless tank's going to be. So for the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start removing a lot of this sod, and then we're going to bring in a lot of soil, get the tanks in place. So getting into the backyard is a little bit of a challenge, but it's not that bad. It's a narrow pathway. We're bringing our muck trucks with a rock. Our small machine was able to fit through into the backyard. So it's going to be a lot of trips back and forth, but we'll get all the material back here and get to work. I've measured from the waterfall to here where the face of the tank will be, and it's about 15-foot run is what we're going to do. And the kit itself comes with a 25-foot liner, so we're doing really well. So we got 15 foot of run with about 3 foot of rise. So that's 18 feet. So we got our liner's plenty long enough. We could go a little longer if we want to. In fact, I might a little bit. But so you'll get good 3 drops or so, nice good cascading down to the front of the tank. So when you order your kit, what we really need to know is what the length is and the rise, and that way we can make sure you get the right size liner and the right size kit. So you got the length plus the rise will help us with the liner size. As you can see, it's very easy to get the tank in place. It's very durable. You don't have to worry about issues with liners. We're going to put the line in place and start covering it up. And then from here, we're going to dig out the water course and pack some dirt. Also take note, overnight, the leaves from the trees have littered the landscape of the feature. And you consider when this is built and the water's running, all those leaves are going to end up in the bottom. So the nice thing about this pitless, all of it's going to get sucked into the baskets.
Alright, so we're getting ready to hook up your skimmer for your pitless tank, and it'll be hooked up the same way for your waterfall starter. So I've already pre-taken off the nuts and bolts. Next important step is to just run your nice bead across all your holes. You go all the way up, and you bring your liner up and use your clamps. You clamp it onto the side, and then you can run your plates through and poke your holes in it. Now we're getting ready to poke the holes in and get your plates put in. It's also important to make sure you don't have any wrinkles on your faceplate, otherwise that will cause a leak. It's also important that you stretch this out so you ensure you leave a lot of slack in the front of it so no liner gets pulled, and you do the same with the waterfall starter as well. What I like to do is, in order for the liner not to move on me after I've poked my holes, I like to put your first bolt in and your bottom bolt on all the plates. You put one on each end of it. That way you don't let your liner move downward as you're trying to put in all your nuts and bolts. I've got all my nuts and bolts put in, just hand tight for the moment. Now we're getting ready to just snug them all up. You don't need to wrench on them too tight, otherwise you'll cause the liner to spin, which could potentially tear your liner a little bit. So you just want to snug them up and you're good to go. All right, now that we got all the nuts and bolts nice and snugged up, tight where we like it, only step left is you want to run a little blade and cut out your opening. That way you allow your water flow to flow through your tank. And the process is done.
Okay, we got the felt liner in, the rubber liner in. Hobby hooked up the liner to both the pitless tank and the waterfall unit. Now we're ready to set our framing boulders and our spill rocks, and then we'll be trimming it out and we're ready to go. Okay, so we got all our boulders in place and our spill rocks. So now we're going to take our black foam, we're going to spray in behind the spill rocks and basically spray foam where we don't want water to go. So when we spray behind the rocks, it's going to fill in the gaps, causes the water to go over the foam, over the rocks, so we get a good flow around, off the waterfall, off these 3 sets of spills, through the stream, down into the bottom of the creek, and into the pitless reservoir. So we finished the project. We got about 13 hours in it from yesterday and today. There was 3 of us here. We came in, it was just a flat backyard. We dug the tank in, the waterfall. We brought in a lot of dirt, all from the front street, so it was a little bit of a challenge, but we got it through all to the back. Everything's turned out great. The pump is pumping about 6,500 gallons an hour. We got the 100 pitless system in place. Flows worked out really well. It's not overpowering. And as you can see with these leaves and such now, that as they end up in the stream, they're going to come over, end up in the baskets. There's 2 of these here, so we can handle a lot of debris. And overall, it's turned out great. Homeowner's happy. So from now the homeowner can go to the nursery, get some plants and landscape it and soften it all up and, with the landscape, and it's turned out great.